to my channel. If you haven't seen my face before, hello, my name is Ebony and welcome to today's video. Now, I haven't done a mental health video in a while and I can only guess that's because my own mental health hasn't been that great. However, I think today's video is a really important one and one that is very personal to me, and I hope that by sharing my story and sharing my tips and advice, I hope that it helps at least one person who might watch this video, who might click on this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, before we get started, I do want to mention that this part of the video is kindly sponsored by Ana Luisa New York. I've worked with Ana Luisa a couple of different times on a couple of different videos, and I must say I am in love with their jewellery. And the reason for sponsoring today's video is because it is coming up to Mother's Day over in the US. We've already had one here in the UK, but we can celebrate twice, that's fine. So starting on the 12th of April, they are offering 15% off site-wide on all of their jewellery pieces. I'm gonna leave a few beautiful aesthetic videos of the jewellery pieces that I chose. So definitely go and have a look at their website. You could find pieces for yourself, find pieces for your mum or the mum figure in your life. I'll leave a link down below in the description box that you can check out for your 15% off discount. I think jewellery is such a classic personal gift that you can give someone special in your life, whether that's your mother figure or whether that's yourself, your friend. You know, jewellery is always going to go down well, I feel like. My personal favourite thing about the Ana Luisa jewellery is that all of the gold tones, I'm a gold kind of gal, all of the gold tones are really cohesive, they all match. So in terms of putting together a look with your jewellery, everything's going to look good together because they're all the same tone, and it's actually my favourite gold tone of all the gold jewellery that I own. There's loads of pieces that are perfect for spring and summer. Like if you have a look, there's like a really cute flowery bracelet that I think goes so well with this kind of dress, like a really nice spring summery dress, really delicate, really dainty jewellery. But then you've also got the really bold statement jewellery of the dome ring. Oh, I love all the things that I chose, and I'm so happy that my Ana Luisa collection is growing. And let's not forget that Ana Luisa has made a real conscious effort into providing more ethical and environmentally friendly ways of producing jewellery, and their commitment is to 100% carbon neutral jewellery, which I think is incredible. So yes, thank you so much Ana Luisa, and check out the link in the description so that you can shop your jewellery too. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about my own relationship with my family, my mum, and I'm also going to be sharing some tips on how I feel that anyone else who's struggling with that kind of realm of relationships, so whether that's a mum, your dad, a family member, aunt, uncle, cousin, sister, brother, whatever, whoever that may be, and I think even probably apply to friendships as well, but I really hope to inspire people to maybe start the thought process, if not the actual process, in healing that area or those aspects of your life. Now, before we get going, I am not a mental health care professional. I have not trained. This is all coming from my own personal experience, and if that inspires you, then great. If not, feel free to just sit back and listen. So the idea for this video really came when I posted a blog post this year, or was it, no sorry, last year, it was 2020. Last year during lockdown I posted a blog post which I'll link down below in the description box, and it was all about my relationship with my mum and how I'm working on that, or how I'm actively taking steps into understanding our dynamic and where I've come from childhood to where I am now, and how our relationship can be strengthened. And that blog post got quite a positive feedback. I got quite positive feedback. I had people saying that they really related. People were commenting on that post saying that they were in a similar situation. They're really happy to hear someone speak out about it. I'm going to be really honest and say that I've attempted to film this video now once, and I found myself just speaking really vaguely and beating around bushes because I wanted people to feel like that this video could be useful for them regardless of their circumstances, because obviously for me, I'm coming from the perspective of my mother-daughter relationship. However, I know that people might have similar circumstances with another family member, and I'm finding it really difficult to talk and make sense. And so for that reason, I don't know if I'm going to use any of those clips that I think it is relevant what I was saying, but I don't know. I need to listen to it back and see if I want to use it. But what I do want to do is pop in just the blog post that I mentioned earlier about it was called How Lockdown Changed My Relationship with My Mum, which I was going to link below, and I still will, but I also maybe want to just read it, because sometimes writing and being able to like edit and really like, you know, be concise with words, I think comes a lot easier to me in the form of writing, especially when the circumstances are so much of a bit of an open wound slash relevant slash, you know, emotional and personal. So I thought maybe I'll just read this. And just for context, I actually wrote this in August last year, so when we were 6 months into the pandemic, the lockdown. The past 6 months have been about change. I've been learning and discovering new things about myself, my friends and my family. It is through the hours of time at home, alone with my own thoughts, that I've been confronted with the parts of my life and personality that have thus far been swept under the metaphorical carpet. As humans, it is in our nature to do what we need to cope and survive in the easiest way possible. I had neglected the parts of my life that needed and deserved my attention, from my own journey with anxiety and depression to my ever-evolving relationship with my mum. The TV show Gilmore Girls paints a picture of an idealistic single mother-daughter relationship between the show's protagonists Rory and Lorelai that many real-life single mother-daughter relationships fail to live up to. The show is a guilty pleasure of mine, and no matter how much I try and tell myself otherwise, I can't help but long for. However, my life growing up with a single mother was very different. My mum is one of the hardest working women I've ever known. She is smart, independent and strong. However, where she thrives in reason and intellect, she lacks in emotional vulnerability and tactile gestures. In other words, my mum is great for life advice or help with a DIY project. However, it is not often, if at all, that I will hear the words "I love you" or we will share a warm embrace. As I mature into a fully fledged adult myself, piecing together this puzzle called life, I have become more forgiving of my mum's flaws. Through careful thought, conversations with friends and my therapist, it has become clearer over the years that I cannot expect a fairy tale when it comes to my relationship with people. I should be more flexible, forgiving and understanding of people's life journeys whilst maintaining my own personal boundaries, in the same way I hope others would do for me. In other words, learning to trust the fact that my mum loves me without her having to say it. It is through this forgiveness and willing to negate the past in order to mend the present that I'm able to begin the journey into our new adult mother-daughter relationship. This started during lockdown, where we began a new tradition that brought us together both physically and mentally, a weekly dinner. Each week, one of us cooks a meal and the other prepares dessert, and this alternates each week. It is a set time we get to dine together, catch up, and then watch something on TV. We flick between genres of food and film, where Caribbean food was paired with the National Theatre Small Island, sausage and mash was paired with a documentary about Josephine Baker. It is through these weekly exchanges that I began to open up, seeking advice from my mum and sharing concerns and finding out a bit more about my estranged family. This journey is ongoing and still nuanced. Some weeks are better than others, depending on what mental space we both occupy at that time. However, I believe the beauty is in the desire to connect, no matter what form it takes. What I hope is that if you're reading this article, it's because you can relate somewhat to a tricky mother-daughter relationship. If you found some comfort, consolement, or inspiration from my story, I would love to continue this conversation, so please leave a comment below or DM me on Instagram. The top comment I got was, "I can totally relate. It's likely a lot more common than people are willing to admit. It's so lovely how you got together to build a fresh relationship as adults." Someone else said, "Lovely ideas, sounds great, thank you for the article. Love this, I can relate." Yeah, just love other things of that sort. So that was the thing that I wrote, and I think I'm going to put that at the beginning of this video because I think that kind of is it's a concise version of what I wanted to really say and talk about, and is exactly my circumstance. And since writing that article, I actually have continued, me and my mum have continued our tradition, and it's now coming up to over a year. It is now over a year since we started that, since lockdown began in March of 2020. We're now in April 2021. And so yeah, that's something that has continued every week ever since. And even we had dinner yesterday. I made us spaghetti bolognese, vegetarian spaghetti bolognese. Anyway, so that was kind of the gist that I wanted this video to take, and I think that actually by reading that, I think I achieved that maybe better than I did previously with all my ramblings. But what I want to do is quickly summarise what I wanted to say, the 5 points that I wanted to make in terms of if you are embarking on this like journey of improving a relationship, an adult relationship with a family member or loved one. The things that helped me, the 5 things that helped me in getting to the point I am today, which is not by no means the end point or the end goal or perfect. We are not the Gilmore Girls. That's not what's happened, nor was that the goal. But I think I'm definitely in a better place today than I was a year ago or 2 years ago. And I think lockdown really helped that. So thanks lockdown, one good thing that came out of it. So yeah, I just want to quickly summarise the 5 things that I tried to summarise before. So the first one that I wrote was understanding and the forgiveness of flaws. So understanding this new adult relationship and kind of leaving the guardian, the idea of this person being on a pedestal as a guardian of yours, and seeing them as another human being, and understanding that that human being comes with their own flaws from their own upbringing, and that might be something they have or haven't tackled themselves, and it's kind of just understanding where they're at in their headspace, and being forgiving and understanding as you would hope someone would do for you. The second is a want to improve, so wanting to improve your relationship and wanting to seek that kind of middle ground and that resolution and that relationship that's going to last longer and be more productive and positive in future. Third one is to make sure you're speaking the same language, to make sure you both have that want. So making sure that you're both on the same page, whether that is said really literally, like, hey, let's do this, let's improve our relationship, or if that's something that is offered with a gesture and then returned in the same way. Not everyone, including my own mum, not everyone is happy or comfortable with talking about their emotions and feelings and things, and it's finding that language, that commonality, that common ground of how you can reach like the same point and both want it. And then the fourth one is protecting your boundaries, making sure you're mentally setting those boundaries for yourself, what you are and aren't willing to put up with, what you do and don't want to do, and when you're sure in what those boundaries are, being able to communicate those with other people. For me, one of my boundaries is definitely not having full access to me all the time, because I will often need time to escape and mentally decompress by myself in my own space, in my own time, and I don't like the idea that I'm being dragged or needed or wanted at all times of the day, 24/7. I need that time where I'm not wanted or needed or expected to do anything, because I need that time for myself. And the fifth one is doing your best, because that is the best you can do. And I think that's really important, is that if you've clicked on this video because you're kind of thinking about someone who you thought about whilst watching this video, and you're thinking about maybe improving or thinking about kind of changing your mindset when it comes to your relationship with that person, I think whatever you do is enough. Whatever you do or don't want to do is more than enough with the circumstances that we are given. But yeah, I think I'm going to run out of memory on this memory card because I've gone on for ages about this now. I hope that you have gotten something out of this video, whether you clicked on it because you relate or whether you clicked on it because you're just one of my subscribers. Thank you so much. I hope that maybe this was an insight into a topic that maybe you hadn't thought about before, or it was an insight into something that hits really personal to you, in which case I'm really glad that you clicked on it, so thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you got this far, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know if there's any other topics in terms of like mental health or relationships, anything like that from my personal point of view, not a professional, that you want me to cover. Please do leave a comment. Let me know what you want from me. What do you want from me? Make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would love to have you here more often, and yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.